Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. We're live downtown Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. In this hour, much more on tonight's college basketball card. We will give you the latest news that we have in the NBA and a bet that I really like in that sport tonight. And we begin by talking college basketball with the managing editor of VSiN.com. Adam Burke joins the program now, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Adam, good to talk to you as always. How are you?
Good to chat with you guys.
You bet. There's so much great stuff on the site right now, which we will expand on here in a moment. But we are in lockstep tonight in one of the bets that you have on the site in the Horizon League, and it's on a total with Fort Wayne and Youngstown State. Explain your analysis here on this game.
Yeah, so look, I mean, the first two games went over this total. And, look, when you get to conference tournaments and there is no tomorrow, it's a winner-go-home situation for everybody in these low major conferences where there's one NCAA tournament berth available. You get a lot of fouling late in these games, right? Teams don't want to go down without a fight. And so you already have the potential for a lot of offense in this game. When you look at the two regular season meetings between these two teams, the rim and three rate, so layups, dunks, and three-pointers, stuff like that, very, very high for both of these teams. These are two well-run offensive teams. And so I think these teams are going to get high percentage looks, and they're going to get attempts to shoot from three. And then at the end of the game, we're probably going to have foul fests with two teams that are above average at shooting free throws. So regardless of who's ahead, I think there will be an opportunity to get points with the clock stopped here late in this game. I like the over 155.5. I also took Youngstown State -2.5. This one's moved against me a little bit. It's 1.5 now, but I really like the way they adjusted from game one to game two, specifically on the defensive side of the floor. I think Ethan Faulkner's done a really, really good job here in year one with the Penguins. And I think the way that he adjusted to Fort Wayne, he talked in the press conference a couple days ago about how good this Mastodons offense is. Well, they did a pretty good job against this Mastodons offense in the second game. So I like Youngstown State to cover the spread and also over the total in that one.
Great job on the conference previews on the website. What was your prediction, and how do you think the Horizon League will play out, which is like a lot of these leagues where they're all tight and there's not an overwhelming favorite?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's the one thing with the transfer portal and all of that. There's a lot of parity now, right? So, a lot of times what I'm looking for are opportunities for, playing a future on the bottom of the bracket, something like that. My colleagues, Zachary Cohen, wrote up the Horizon over there at VSiN.com. We've split up the 31 conference tournaments. Zach and I are doing the bulk of them. JVT's doing a couple, and then Aaron Moore doing a couple for us as well. So that was one of Zach's conferences. I encourage everyone to head to VSiN.com and check it out. But this is a conference where defense is typically optional. So, you're going to have a lot of high-scoring games here, which can lead to a lot of variance when you're trying to bet into the futures market in a conference like that.
That's what's happened so far. What do you think? Here's another example with the Coastal. Towson won the league, and they only lost two conference games, and yet they're not the favorite. It's Wilmington. What do you think of that conference breakdown?
Yeah, so this is one where I don't think that Towson is the best team in the league. In fact, I think Wilmington and Charleston are both better than they are. But this is one of those where I have to take the value with the draw. Wilmington and Charleston are likely to run into each other in the semifinals here, whereas Towson's probably going to play the winner of William and Mary and Campbell. So I think it's just a better draw for Towson. I don't know if they're going to win that game, but at plus 450, when I think the winner of UNC Wilmington and Charleston's probably -4, -4.5 in that range. If I'm sitting with plus 450 on Towson, I can come back and play the favorite money line on whoever they wind up playing in that game and have a nice little free roll on that one. So that's the reason why I took Towson. And it's funny, too, because usually you want to avoid the number one seed from a future standpoint. You want to play in the bottom half of that bracket. In this case, I think the 2 and 3 seeds are better than the number one seed, but the one seed's getting a more favorable draw at a pretty decent number. That's going to be much bigger than what their money line price is in the title game if they get there.
All right, that's very good. You and Pauly, I think, have a common play as well coming up later on tonight. It's in the WAC. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's with Utah Valley and Abilene Christian here. Which side are you on in this game?
Yeah, so I like Utah Valley in this one. They're a 3-point favorite in this game. By the way, the WAC tournament next week out here in Las Vegas, Ben Wilson's going to be doing the play-by-play of that. So definitely something for everyone to tune into next week in terms of conference tournaments.
Very nice.
But look, I mean, this is one of those where Utah Valley gets to the rim a ton. Abilene Christian will let you get to the rim. So this is one where I fully expect Utah Valley to have a lot of high percentage shots, a lot of opportunities to drive the lane, get fouled. They're a team that goes to the free throw line a lot as a result of being able to get to the rim. And Abilene Christian is a team that the best thing that they do is force turnovers. They are remarkably good at doing it, but Utah Valley is really good at taking care of the basketball. In the first meeting between these two teams, Utah Valley actually won the turnover battle, which rarely happens in an Abilene Christian game. They got to the rim more frequently. They held the Wildcats to 53 points. Utah Valley also going for at least a share of the regular season championship here. They could do no worse than Ty Grand Canyon. So I like Utah Valley here, a team that should be very, very motivated for this game tonight.
Excellent breakdown with the MLB betting guide and everything you did putting that together. What did you find and what stood out with two teams playing in minor league ballparks, and specifically Tampa Bay?
Yeah, so both of them that are playing in minor league ballparks, there's definitely going to be an uptick in offense here. Obviously, Oakland going from the Marine Air there in the big spacious Coliseum where there's a ton of foul territory to Sacramento where it's much warmer, normal dimensions, normal foul territory, all of that. We should see definitely an uptick offensively for Oakland as well as the teams that go in there, or for Sacramento, I should say, for the Athletics, as well as the teams that go in there and play. But I think Tampa Bay is one to really, really watch very, very closely. So the Rays are an incredibly smart organization. I'm guessing that with this coming, they've spent the offseason trying to figure out not only the best way to maximize their offensive potential, but also how to minimize the damage for their pitchers, because they have two guys that really concern me here, specifically Zach Littell. Zach Littell is a guy that had monstrous home road splits last year. He was very, very good at home. He was very, very bad on the road. Ryan Pepio is the other one. These are two guys that are fly ball pitchers. The Rays have kind of instructed their starters to work up in the zone with the fastball. Littell and Pepio don't really have the same strikeout upside as a Taj Bradley, a Shane McClanahan, somebody like that. So Littell is a guy that I want to fade. Playing in that minor league park, which has mentions that mirror Yankee Stadium, it's something where I think the Rays are really going to have a hard time on the pitching side adjusting to this. That being said, with guys like Junior Caminero, Jonathan Aranda in the lineup, they've got guys that want to elevate the baseball, guys that have high exit velocities, high barrel rates. I think we could see a lot of higher scoring games, which is typically not something we see when Tampa is the home team because the Trop is such a great pitcher's park.
Yeah, that's very good. And, I mean, the team is going to be cautious for sure with McClanahan because he's coming off and he missed so much time, obviously, with the Tommy John. And, the guy throws 100, 101 miles an hour. He was one of my favorite pitchers in baseball before the injury, but you got to be careful of that kind of stuff, too.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, I like under 81.5 for this team. I typically don't like to go against really, really smart and savvy organizations that make a lot of data-driven decisions and really lean into the analytics. But this is one where I'm so worried about Littell and Pepio. I mean, that's 40% of your rotation right there. I don't know if Drew Rasmussen is the type of guy who's going to stay together too. That's something that you really have to think about as well. I just don't know if they have enough arms. I think the offense will be interesting to follow, but I just don't know if they have enough arms that can deal with this big park change. And again, you're in a division where you got four teams that are capable of hitting the long ball, four teams that have pretty good offenses that you're going to have to deal with, within the division. So I took the under on the Rays. And also, a guy like Brandon Lowe could be traded. Littell could be traded. This is a team that has to kind of retool on the fly because of their financial constraints. Anybody who they can move during the course of the season, they will look to do it. And I think that's something you want to factor into these season-long MLB markets as well.
Adam, where are you at going into the season with your Cleveland Guardians?
So the Guardians, I mean, I know that Gil Alexander's on the under. I know that he's had guests that have been on the under too. I will say my opinion kind of dampered a little bit with the fact that Chase DeLauder has to have sports hernia surgery because I expected him to take over right field by probably June for this team. But that being said, I mean, the bullpen is still elite. I mean, it's going to be the best bullpen or the second best bullpen in baseball. The offense, I think there's a little bit more upside than people are giving them credit for. And remember, last year, they got 57 awful starts from Carlos Carrasco, Logan Allen, and Tristan McKenzie. I don't know if McKenzie is going to be any better this year, but I think they're at least better equipped with Slade Ciccone and also Luis Ortiz that they got this offseason. They've got arms they can play with now, guys that I think have a little bit higher of a ceiling than what they were running out there last year. I like this team over. The Royals are the team that I'm fading in the AL Central. But I like the Guardians and the Tigers to battle it out for this division.
All right, very good. The website is unlocked and free until Selection Sunday. Tell the audience what's up there and available right now.
Yeah, we got all kinds of conference tournament previews. All my 30 MLB team previews. The MLB betting guide is free. You can get that as long as you register over at VSiN.com/champweek. So everything's free. I mean, we've got Greg Peterson's daily articles, Zachary Cohen on the NBA, all the stuff that Steve Makinen does for us as well. Jonathan Davis's daily NHL piece. It's a good time to head over there and give us a test drive. If you were on the fence, if you weren't sure, use this free week to your advantage and check out all the content that we have.
Yeah, 100%. There is so much content on the site every single day. And Adam and everybody else he just talked about and named, they do a terrific job with the analysis. Adam, thanks for the time today, and good luck betting tonight.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, back at you. He was on the Progressive Guest Line. Like he said, everything free until Selection Sunday, VSiN.com/champweek, full VSiN.com access, full access to VSiN in the Watch app, 24/7 video access, a daily best bet with the email as well. All the best bets from all of us here on the network. And up next, we will expand on the college basketball card that we have coming up tonight, including something that you could find on the website. A 14-0 straight up in ATS angle since 2014. Details are next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. The beginning of championship week. It's ongoing. The lower leagues, lower tournaments. And right now on the West Coast, out here in Las Vegas, about 3 minutes to go in the first half. Pacific leads San Diego 31-27 in that matchup. Both those teams, a lot of teams playing today overall across the country, are quite frankly really, really awful teams. So you will start to weed out the trash here as we go along. The Sun Belt, you're getting Georgia Southern against Georgia State. That's a 9 versus the 8. And that's 12-11 right now. Georgia State in that game, and they were a 2.5-point dog entering this game. And then we got a bunch of other games. I think the later on as the evening progresses, Pauly, the better the quality of basketball that we're going to see. For example, like the Horizon, I think these games, and so far it has bared out like that. All these games have been super high scoring so far, and I kind of anticipate that tonight. At least I have a couple of bets on the Purdue-Fort Wayne Youngstown State game. But there's also another one here. Wright State, for several years now, they've been playing some of these games that go to the moon. And Robert Morris is the 1 seed here. Both games have actually stayed under the total when they played earlier this year. But if Wright State can dictate tempo, and to what others have said, including Adam Burke in the previous segment, this is it.
Sure.
You're down 6 with 90 seconds left. Here come if you're going to foul, whatever.
Big. No end in sight either.
Yep.
It could start with 1:20 left, even down 12, and continue. So they've been the first 3 games have been high scoring. Again, what Burke talked about, the parity. Here's a 1 seed at home, only opened up a 5.5-point favorite against an 8 seed.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one here. We'll see if Bob Morris, the co-favorite, can get it done. But also, it's wide open, and going back over the years, this has been absolute carnage, where 1 seeds and 2 seeds have gone out early. And there's several good angles here to get into, and you teased it as well, which you'll get to in a second, with the 14-0 straight up in ATS. But the other one is if you're a dog, catching at least 7 and you already played a game and your opponent is off a bye. That is 78% going back. How strong that has been.
Wow.
So that fits too about, okay, you're well rested, you have the edge, or maybe not so fast. It could be the team that already played the prior night, and your extended rest is a negative.
Add money now on Bobby Morris here, up to 6.5, so that could touch 7 before tip time. Again, they played twice this year. Robert Morris at home was a pick'em, and they won by 3. Wright State was laying 2.5 when they played at home. That was in February. They won by 2, 66-64.
Right. A lot of similarities here to the Summit League. That it's wide open and look at a 1 seed again. Maybe a little bit like the Colonial too, although the Coastal used to be the Colonial, but the CAA, where again Townsend is down the board, even though they won the league, and Nebraska Omaha, the 4th choice in the Summit League, plays tonight. Opened a 1.5-point favorite.
It's crazy.
1.5 in a 1-8 game.
Yep. So here's the angle against Steve Mack and his numbers. Free for everybody until Selection Sunday. VSiN.com. Go to VSiN.com/Champ Week. Mackinnon shared this in the Horizon League. Home favorites of 5 points or fewer are 14-0 straight up NATS in this tournament since 2014. It happened last year when Oakland beat Purdue Fort Wayne by 10, and tonight you have 2 games on the board. Cleveland State is a 4.5-point favorite against Northern Kentucky. Cleveland State won the first time 76-58. They were 4.5 in that game. Northern Kentucky won the other game by 10, and they were actually favored in that game. And the other spot would be Youngstown State, favored by 1.5 tonight over Purdue Fort Wayne. 14-0 straight up in ATS. There's something every year with Mackinnon's numbers.
Oh, they're great.
For a tournament, you're like, wait, huh? Yeah. How is that possible?
Here's one for you. In the West Coast, if you're laying between 6 and 12 points, you're 81%.
ATS.
Yes. He's got tidbits like that in every single conference tournament. It's bananas. It's so good. And Burke likes Youngstown State. Patriot League, quarterfinals, over 73% run. 40-game sample size, too. So you have that tonight, and with Bucknell and an American, but a lot of like this when you look at that. Bucknell swept, Colgate Army split, Navy split, American swept, but one of the win was by 2. That's the thing with the Horizon. They split. All these head-to-head matchups. So nothing jumps off the page other than Summit League. That Omaha took out Kansas City easy twice, and St. Mary's buried Denver both times.
By the way,
St. Thomas. St. Thomas buried Denver.
And look at the number on Bucknell now tonight. Yeah. They're the 1 seed. Their number was kind of all over the board. I got them plus 135 to win the conference. Other books had like minus 120
right.
to win it. So they're getting loyal tonight. This was in my notes 6.5 earlier today. Now 9. So Bruce Marshall came on an hour ago and said he really likes him in this game. Well, the market obviously agreed with that sentiment because it's moved up, a 3-pointer throughout the day. And when totals specifically in this conference have been 139 or higher, they're 31-10-1 to the over since 2014. That is 75.6%. That total is 138. So that's a little bit lower for that tonight. The other one there would be Army at Colgate. Colgate has won this conference tournament 4 years in a row. They're a 4.5-point favorite tonight. Check that, 6.5-point favorite, and the total is 147.5. So that would qualify under that trend.
Mm-hmm.
That trend.
All right. How about the A-Sun? Got the semis. Repeat your angle again on this. And what transpires here?
Oh,
this is good.
Let me get this. I have to find it first.
Yeah, sure. But Bruce is right. Lipscomb's very good, and they're laying a bunch tonight against Queens. And then the other semifinal. You got North Alabama against Jacksonville. Lipscomb laying 10, and then North Alabama in the 5.5 range.
Yep. So this is from Jeff Borzello. He put this out on X 2 hours ago. The first NCAA tournament bid could be handed out tonight under this scenario. If North Alabama wins and Queens beats number 1 seed Lipscomb, North Alabama clinches the A-Sun's bid. A league spokesman confirmed that to ESPN.
Transition rule comes into play. Can you please get rid of this? It also is playing a role in the Summit League. This is stupid.
Right. So then what happens, though? He did not.
Okay.
I'll double check this here.
If North Bama loses. Is that where you're going?
Okay. He was asked to follow up here. If Jacksonville wins over North Alabama.
Correct.
Then Jacksonville has to beat Queens in the title game. If Queens wins the title game, he's under the impression Lipscomb would go as the league's number 1 seed.
Okay.
So how about that?
And as I read it, the Summit League, if St. Thomas wins it, it's Omaha.
It's automatically Omaha.
That's what I read because they won
Saw
the
that
regular
too.
season.
Right.
And it's not whoever you beat in the title game.
Well, isn't that kind of dumb?
Yeah.
What would you rather have?
I would take the team that won the league.
I would too.
Or finish second place.
I would absolutely.
Why'd we just play 20 games?
Sure, because Jacksonville's the 4. If you win tonight and then you don't go out there and beat Queens in the title game, I know you made the title game. Sorry, that should go to the regular season winner.
And then the game becomes irrelevant on ESPN. And assuming what happens if it's Queens Jacksonville.
I want to see that scenario happen.
Yeah, right, because you're playing for nothing. It's a scrimmage at that point.
But also the tickets might be out there. Will Hill yesterday on the show, he bet Queens at 50-1, and we're talking about 24-1 available before this game.
That's another angle. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. The SEC thing. How much can we improve our seed? Do we want to go through the gauntlet and the ringer? Or just have a quick exit and get ready, and we don't want to expend that energy in a grueling tournament that's so deep, right? You got the Duke situation. Lucas is leaving after the game Saturday. This sport has got to fix itself. There's too much crap that goes on. Your defensive guru is taking the Miami job. He can't do both jobs at the same time. The portal is open March 24th. Miami was terrible. He has to get to work immediately. Duke could be playing until April 7th. He leaves after the Carolina game. Then again, we're playing third. I ran this down.
Wow.
How about that? It's huge news. Memphis 15-2, VCU 15-2, Houston 18-1, Duke 18-1, although they're the big boys. Central Connecticut State 14-2, Towson 16-2, Yale 12-1, Akron 16-1, McNeese 19-1, Utah Valley 13-1. Why did we just play 3 months?
Yeah.
It meant nothing. We did it for seeding purposes, just so you have to go out to get the 1 seed, and you got to win 3 more games so we can put one of them on television.
Right. It'll be an absolute travesty, and I'm going to keep saying this until they actually win their conference tournament. But if it's UC San Diego, a team if you go by their overall numbers and eyeball test, they can play with a lot of the big boys. If they lose their conference tournament and don't get in, you're going to scream at Paul from the mountaintops, probably with your pants down.
And then what you're asking them to do then, because you're going against teams that have 4 or 5 conference wins. They would enter the title game on a 28-2 run. Yeah.
All right, we will update the latest news that we have in the NBA. This is always a fun part of the day. Who's in, who's out? We'll run it down for you coming up next on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I find this part of the day to be wildly entertaining every day in the NBA. Point spreads are moving, totals are coming down or either going up. People are making bets. You're getting news on who's in, who's out. Here's the latest again on the 76ers and the Celtics and the NBA. Their official injury report will get updated here in like 10 seconds. But out for the 76ers, Embiid, of course, Paul George is out. Eric Gordon is out. Kyle Lowry is out. Tyrese Maxey is out. McCain out for the whole year. You know that too. For the Celtics, Jaylen Brown is out. Drew Holiday is out. Al Horford is out. Kristaps Porzingis is out. Jason Tatum looks like he's going to play tonight. He's okay. So Boston's laying 14. Total is 219.5. Who's scoring for the 76ers?
I know. That's the question.
And do you want to fade Peyton Pritchard tonight?
Maybe Oubre, maybe Grimes. I don't mind fading Pritchard either. But it's a national TV game as well.
Oh, yeah.
Stern would go bananas. And Silver can't be an enabler. And that's what he's done the last few years. So, in any event, the people who make the schedule, what are you doing? With the Sixers and Suns on prime time. And there's more Sixer games coming up. I think they can hang in this one, though. And the fact that it's just Boston going through the motions and knowing we're going to get the 2 seed, that's it. we're winning the division, but we can't catch Cleveland and probably win by 7 or 8 tonight. But I would say, to answer your question, I would say, yes, fade Pritchard, but also a little Oubre and a little Grimes.
All right, Oubre's up to 17.5, minus 120 on the over. Grimes now 18.5, over is even money. His number's been moving throughout the entire day. Again, this game has been, no joke, pulled off of books a minimum of twice today while I was tracking it. Earlier in the morning, when, look at this now, 5 guys are going to miss, and then the other team announces all their guys who are going to miss. Derek White had 40-plus last night. He's 20.5 tonight. I actually would not be surprised if he has another good game. He's rock solid. I love Derek White.
Right.
But Pritchard's now up to 18.5 tonight. Does he really go back-to-back games where it's just completely scorched earth?
Well, you would think he'd be in the scouting report.
Yeah.
Nurse don't leave him open and guard this guy.
He's $2 to make 4 threes in this game. Derek White is higher than minus 160. To make 5 threes, Peyton Pritchard's plus 110. Derek White is plus 130. Yeah, last night was the night to bet on both those guys.
Yep. Tough. Same thing here with, what do you want to do with Chicago? Giddey's in, Ball's out, Vucevic is out again. Does anyone want that 10 seed in the East? And how do you lay this kind of number with the Magic, who have been terrible?
Mm-hmm.
They're 7.5 at home against the Bulls. And the Bulls are they're hard to figure out, a lot like the Atlanta Hawks. I do lean the Nets, with Golden State having a couple days to hang out in New York and maybe do some sightseeing and some time off after they beat the Knicks on national TV. Their record is also bad, looking at extended rest in Brooklyn as well. Makinen has that today on VSiN.com. And also there are some horrible numbers, although it goes back a few years when they weren't that good. But Houston's 5-5 the last 10. The numbers aren't kind to the Rockets when they're playing the third straight game on the road as well. 37-18 overrun, but the ATS numbers aren't that good. And they're laying 5 in New Orleans against the Pelicans.
Okay. Well, here's a total that keeps going down. It was as high as 248. Pacers-Hawks game. I have the first half over on this bet. I'll explain why I like it coming up in about 10 minutes. But
14-2 overrun head-to-head here.
14-2 over. It's down to 245 right now. We officially have news now that Halliburton and Mathurin are out of this game tonight for Indiana. I think they're going to be fine. I think the backups there are totally okay to run the show. And with the Hawks playing these games at 100 miles an hour, Trae Young's going to be playing tonight, by the way. He's available. And the Hawks are now favored by a point as well, based on the injury news with the Pacers. But I still think we're going to get 260 points in this game with that chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, absolutely. And frenetic pace, no doubt. The big one, your doubleheader on TV, Knicks and Lakers. Mm-hmm. Here we go. And again, I've been talking all week about how difficult this schedule and weird this scheduling spot has been for the Knicks. Go on the road, come back for one, go back on the road, come home for one, go back on the road. And some people were inquiring about, can you bet on seeds? Because they expect a free fall coming now with the Knicks as they hit a tough part of the schedule and the West Coast roadie, which not a bad angle if you can find it. Usually DK has stuff like that up on what the seeds are going to be. But Lakers down to 2.5. Wow. The respect here for the Knicks. And the Lakers playing great ball. The number one defense, as we mentioned, Luka's back. The last 2 games, he's looked like his old self, knocking down threes and getting everyone involved. LeBron's been great. Now you're supposed to get Reeves back as well. The one concern here would be that even though you have this number one defense, a lot of it is packing it in the paint and hope they miss and give up wide open threes. Well, if it's Cat, Brunson, and Bridges, they're going to make you pay. I don't know what's going to happen with the pace and tempo either. I would still think it could be a rock fight in terms of grinding it out and go under 231. I wouldn't want the over.
Yeah, that's the biggest question I have in the game.
Yeah, because the Pelicans were pushing, so the Lakers are going to run with them, and there was no defense, especially in transition, which Redick has pointed out the Lakers need to do a better job, but it was a problem early in the season. But this is the one where it goes back to, are you buying in? Are they contenders to win the title and to compete with OKC? If you want to take the wait-and-see approach, still that's okay, because people are pointing to this part of the schedule. After this, they hit the road, and it's at Boston, it's at Milwaukee, there's at Brooklyn in there. There's some other tough road games. Then there's Denver at home. There's Denver on the road again. So it's a big opportunity here to see if they can continue this, and if it's real, and I think it's real, just because they just have 2 of the best players in the league, and Reeves is good, and the defense has been awesome and refreshing, unlike the last couple years, a coach who knows how to make adjustments.
So unless something unforeseen happens in the next few hours, all three of those guys are going to play. Luka, LeBron, and Reeves, right? They're listed as probable.
Yeah, no shenanigans unlike the two games at home against the Clippers.
It's the NBA, so in 90 minutes, who knows? One of those guys could be downgraded, but I think they're all going to play tonight. And as for the Knicks, it's still questionable for OG Anunoby and for Mitchell Robinson. Neither guy has been ruled out. Neither guy has been bumped up to probable. So status quo as it has been all day for those players.
Your guy played well the other night, too. Connect, filled in. You're going to get wide open looks playing with Luka. So that's the other thing.
True.
Like guys like Finney-Smith, Vincent, Vanderbilt, Connect. They're NBA players, and they're going to get wide open looks because Luka's just going to set them up. And that was a below-average roster he had a couple of years ago that went to the conference finals. So that this could be scary that he has LeBron in pieces now, too.
Yeah.
But this is too much respect. They're not playing well. And Golden State toyed with them. That's just 2.5, right? Stinks.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
It stinks, Pauly.
It's like the Omaha game. Omaha buried Kansas City twice. It's a 1-8. Why was it 1.5?
Oh.
Took money. Up to 3.5 now at some spots. But this is, unless there's some shenanigans, you're right. But I think the Lakers they're playing great ball, and they got to be more than 2.5 here.
Cleveland plays at Charlotte tomorrow. It's 15.5 right now. Mark Williams has already been ruled out. Looks like LaMelo's going to be able to play.
Who's Utah playing? They ruled everyone out again already.
Yeah.
I mean, this is tanking season started early. They're just saying to hell with it. We're not going to play. Yeah, they play at Toronto. They're going to sit everyone every game. Although they almost beat Washington, it was terrible. But that was a close game yesterday, too. And then the Grizzlies play the Mavs. National TV game. What? You can't make it up. You can watch your ESPN game tomorrow.
I'm trying to make a bet right now because the news that I don't see it posted anywhere. I can't get down. I think books are either pulling it or it's not available yet. I think they're pulling it because other games are available for tomorrow. OKC was originally listed as a run of 14.5 or a 15-point favorite at home tomorrow to Portland. Since we've been on in this segment, there's no SGA tomorrow.
Oh.
There is no Jalen Williams. There is no Lou Dort. Chet Holmgren is questionable. And Hartenstein is out of the game. I mean, if you can find Portland right now anywhere on a book that has not pulled it down yet, you got to take the points. All those guys are out. And I'm looking at one app that I have right now where they have the games listed for tomorrow. They got like 5 games up. They don't have OKC. It all came down in the last couple of minutes, and I think it's probably down everywhere. I would actually, if you see it still up, here's my recommendation. Absolutely go nuts with the points.
Good call.
And take money line as well.
Good call. I'll give you another one. You can bet the Clippers tomorrow. 3.5 against the Knicks. You think the Knicks are going to sit people tomorrow?
Okay.
And Kawhi will be back. And, Harden had the 50-point game. Isn't that going to go up? Kawhi plays, Clippers at home. Knicks on a back-to-back. Several guys could get ruled out. Something could happen tonight, and they might enjoy the nightlife, too.
Oh, why can't that game be on the board everywhere? All right, we'll get to our best bets for tonight. A lot of them to go over yet again here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're out.
All right, 44-38 Pacific. 16 minutes left down the street at the Orleans West Coast Conference Tournament. Entertaining start, even though not much with the records. Also, P.J. Washington out tomorrow for the Mavs. They might pull people out of the stands to play tomorrow. What's going on there? Nuts. 2-0 last night, goal in the first 10. Knights and the Leafs. All Vegas in that game. Wall was a sieve. Some soft goals. Vegas blows them out. First period over. Winner, Rangers and Capitals. Your buddy scored, huh? Putin got in there. Ovechkin scored. 9 away from Gretzky now? Yeah, I will wear my Gretzky jersey with pride when he breaks it. But congrats to him. And if he's able to pull this off, I thought that was one of those records. Unbreakable, forget it, never gonna. So amazing that he's in this position. So 2-0, let's keep it going. Again with the hockey. And I know our guy Chris Otto at PSU Auto on X and also Ian Duncan all over this. The Stars have been on a sick run. A sick heater goal in the first 10. It's 20-3 overall, and it's 8-1 run at home. They'll get one early tonight against Calgary. Let's go goal first 10, Stars and Flames. And Utah Valley money line, trying to wrap up the wiggity whack against Abilene Christian. I am with Mr. Burke on that one. Also, our guy Ozzy at it again. If you ever need a car in the Dallas area. So he, Paisano's Pizza sent us the screenshot. He had Wyndham Clark first round leader 50-1. And we won 9,500. This is an all-time heater. It's like you with the video poker.
It's nothing like that. He blows me away 10 times over.
Well, the money-wise, yeah, but in terms of keeping it going, is what I'm saying. Oh, hit a big one, come back, hit a big one. So he gets Highsmith. The guy skint the screen grab of his tickets, and it's all like 70-1 to win a conference tournament, 8-1 money line. It's just, I'm a home run hitter, man. I go for the home run. So he got 50-1. Wyndham Clark, first round leader. Cash it again. Ozzy. Parts unknown, weight unknown.
Are you good? You caught up here?
Yeah.
That's all?
It.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
The plays last night. Yeah. Ovechkin scored plus 135. That was a winner. Came late in the game. Doesn't matter when it comes. Just get it past the goalie, and it's a winner. The Lemoyne Central Connecticut State game was a good one. That was, I think they had 86 combined at halftime. That flew over 143.5. Anthony Edwards, I think, had 4 threes made at halftime. That was a winner. And the Blazers, I'm still not over this, though. Those 3 bets are good. This one was a loser. Not happy about it. You're down by 8. I had them plus 8, and I had them plus 9.5. You're down 8. 6, you fouled twice with, 6 seconds left? What was that?
I don't. That's so weird.
And Pritchard and Derek White had to become the first Celtics duo to ever each score 40 points in a game to cover last night. That's pure insanity. Onward, upward, tonight's action. Here we go. Okay, so a couple of 3-point props in the Rockets-Pelicans game. I'm going to go Terry Eason over 1.5 at plus 195 and Dylan Brooks over 2.5 at plus 140. Over the last 10 games, the Pelicans are 23rd in the league in defensive rating, and over the course of the entire season, not a single team gives up more made threes per game than this outfit. They allow 14.8 made threes per game. Dylan Brooks, last 4 games, 8.3 attempts, 3.3 makes. Eason, averaging 2 makes per game in his last 5. There's no Van Vliet tonight. Eason's getting a lot of minutes. Going to war there. Team total, Pacers, over 61.5. This has since dropped because there's no Mathurin and there is no Halliburton. But I bet it over 61.5. I laddered it all the way to 66.5. I think it's still good. Here's why I'm playing this. The Hawks allow 61.4 points per game in the first half over the course of the regular season. That is the worst in the league. Recent games, they allowed 66 to the Bucks, 65 to the Grizzlies, 71 to the Thunder, 65 to the Heat. The game before that, only 2 days earlier, the Heat only had 42 at halftime. But going back even more, the Pistons had 76, the Magic even had 59, and the Knicks had 68. The Pacers scored 68 in the first half. February 1st of this year, their only meeting. Going back to last year, their team total against Atlanta, they scored 73, 78, 68, and 86 points. Had to do it. I might add more. I don't even know if I'm concerned enough to stay away or get off of it with Noah, Mathurin, and Halliburton. And tonight in the Horizon League, Great write-up. Free for everybody right now at VSiN.com by Adam Burke. And I noticed this game anyway, jumped off the page to me when I was getting ready for the show last night. We are going Purdue, Fort Wayne, Youngstown, over. I split up a unit. Over 72.5 for the first half, over 154.5 for the game. The first time these two teams played, total was 147. It flew over. The final was 90-81. The second time they played, it had a higher total than tonight, and it still went over 93-71. And so far in this tournament, teams are playing games to the moon.
Yep.
So I'm in on Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Youngstown State over.
All right, excellent. Eliminate all the fake handicappers who are pitching fake records. Juice Reel, bringing transparency to the picks marketplace. All Juice Reel betting accounts are synced with the betting history directly from the books. No hiding those bad records. And Juice Reel ranks every bettor based on their actual betting record. Sharp bettors can even get paid when others follow their picks. Check it out for yourself and download the Juice Reel app. Promo code Let's Go. Get $25 in free app currency that you can use to check out and who the best handicappers are on Juice Reel. It's free in the App Store. Download it now. Juice Reel, REEL. Code Let's Go.
Joey Bosa was released today by the Chargers. Does that do anything for you?
Go back, play with his brother? Could he do that?
Yeah, that was that's out there, and rumors are swirling like that could really, really happen.
I don't mind DK Metcalf on the Chargers.
I like
Could that happen?
Well, their initial asking price is, completely preposterous.
Yeah.
A first and a third.
Oh, God.
Knock it off. You have no chance of getting that. I say that. We're on the heels of a team giving up Luka Doncic in the trade. That's the NBA, I understand. But, and these teams move up like in the draft all the time and give up way too much of a ransom to do so. I cannot imagine a scenario where any team in the league gives up a first and a third for him. However, if he were to go to the Chargers, we are cooking with charcoal, my man.
That'd be great. If
they get him or Devontae Adams, hello. The Rams might land Devontae Adams.
Ugh.
But for they gave Tutu Atwell $10 million today.
Really?
I saw, when you break it down, he makes more money than Derrick Henry. What are we doing here?
No, he doesn't.
There's some guy who does this, yeah.
Did you see the Browns restructured Watson's contract again to get him under the cap? There's 2 years left. They owe him $90 million still.
Oh, my God.
Guaranteed, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Barry was talking to the media, and he just slipped it in there about, it's unfortunate, whatever, but, totally understand. No shenanigans, what happened with the injury, but no. It's like he went there in terms of...
He brought it up as zone?
Yeah. It wasn't a follow-up question if I read it right. He's just like, there wasn't any funny business. It was a legit injury, what happened. And again with the Achilles.
Oh, so they must just be getting so much feedback.
Right, it's kind of convenient.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
He goes to Miami and something happens, right? Huh. Like the last thing we can have is you on the field. Lowest QBR in the league. Thought that was odd. So what else happened? Something else happened. Oh, what do you think of the Sanders stuff? This is getting good.
Oh, what, going like number 2 overall?
No, the other direction.
Oh.
About how Team A met with them. This team met with them. Arrogant, horrible attitude.
Well,
no, I don't know. It's weird.
It
depends who you
you
talk to, but that's a little bit. Because people saying, media people said what they met with him, pleasant kid, nice guy, whatever. Didn't think you would think he would do that. You think he would come in?
Yeah, my God.
You do okay.
I should say this. That's fine. Maybe the media can say that because that was their experience with him. Not every experience is the same. But if
maybe it was deliberate. Deliberate. I'm not playing for you. I'm going to act like an ass in the interview.
Oh, maybe.
But it's also, you can't do that.
But
because next thing you know,
considering what he did to his teammates at Colorado and who his father is, would I be surprised for a second if he came across arrogant? No, I'd lay $10,000 on that at even money easily.
You're killing yourself, though. You're losing a lot of cash.
That's going to get out. What's Dion worth?
I don't know, but the kid, though. I mean,
you'll see a lot of that.
Come on, Shaq? Shaq doesn't give us a dime. Remember Shaq?
Oh, well,
you're not born rich. You got to work. I'm not giving you anything.
I like that. That's the way it probably should be. Yeah.
I don't know if it's trickle-down economics there, what's going on. But that's something to this now about how far he could fall with that stuff leaking out.
That would not surprise me at all.
Uh-huh.
If one of the quarterbacks happens to go in free fall mode.
Yeah, okay.
And there you go. Prime time next. Humans and Tim Murray for the next 4 hours. Good luck betting tonight. We'll see you.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.